Hello and welcome to another build guide. So today I want to show you my Minion Wandering Arrow Huntress guide. This is quite of a weird one because you can only make this character viable if you have this legendary right here. So this legendary allows you to get additional wandering arrows from your Immortal Arrow ability. Um, So first things first, how does this character feel? I mean, it feels really nice to play, just because you can be as lazy as you possibly can be in a game. Because the only thing you do on this character is just walk around, and then the wandering arrows do everything for you. And it feels really nice. I really enjoy this sort of playstyle. It's kind of my thing when it comes to action RPGs, just being as lazy as possible, and then for example, you can farm while watching YouTube streams or movies, you name it. So this is a very nice character for um, those who just want to relax and just farm and watch some stuff at the same time. I will say that I don't recommend running this character on Rev 10 for the lazy farming. Like when you want to do lazy farming, it's just on Rev 5 to 7, I would say. Maybe even 8 if you can manage it. But 5 to 7 is what feels the best, if you ask me. That feels really nice, and oh man, it's so enjoyable. Just walking around, and then when you suddenly take a bit of damage, you can then push this button right here, Ring of Life, that we get from this one right here. So you get restored life equal to the amount of raw damage you have, slash skill damage or elemental damage. So at this point we get a lot of raw damage, so that counts towards this. And you also get a relatively big life regeneration on top of it. So when you have this buff up, you cannot die except for one shots pretty much. Um, so how are we scaling this character? We are scaling this character with this bad boy right here, Big Fury. Big Fury is probably one of the best weapons in the game, or should I say rebus in the game, simply because you get so much damage if you scale with this node right here, Savagery, at rank 45. So what this does is equal to missing mana, you gain max raw damage. And the more mana you have, the further this scales to the absurdities that this character can actually get. So if you have 100,000 mana and you have pretty much spent all of it and have like, let's say 1,000 left, you get suddenly 99,000 max raw damage. And you can scale that insanely well with Big Fury because it has, first of all, it has the raw damage multiplier. But with the primordial version, you get 3% max raw damage per level of the Reaper itself. That is absolutely insanity because that is what we are scaling on the build to begin with. So the amount of value you get from this Reaper is absolutely insanity. And you can scale like percentage raw damage on gear or in the essential tree as well. So it has a lot of value overall. So even if you have like 20,000 mana and get to low mana, you will still like get millions of damage out of it. It's so powerful and I would say almost broken. So this one is just what I feel like is the best option if you want to do something like this to get as much damage as possible. You could take something different if you don't care about too much damage and just want to take Rev 5 and have, let's say, more movement speed from another Reaper or something like that. I'm not really sure what other Reaper you could pick. But this one is very, very powerful. Like, it's really, really good. And you also get you get like, let's say, a few thousand to millions of damage. And there's this wording that says your skill damage are lucky, so your damage will get rolled twice. So let's say the first roll is rolled with like a few thousand damage, but then it gets rolled again, and just to see if it can actually pick a bigger number for you. So it's really, really powerful, even though your minimum damage is very low, but your max damage is very high. So you get quote unquote twice the value with that lucky stat. I would say, at least. Not completely accurate, but something along the lines. Another thing you can do in this character is you don't necessarily have to use Big Fury. You could potentially use the Necromancy weapon. You would probably get, I would say you get like way more damage out of it, but it's very clunky to play with because your minions don't get that much HP, and a lot of things can one-shot them in expedition, like catalysms on death effects. So it's completely up to you if you really want a character that like more minion based than the Big Fury version. I think this one is just more pleasing to play. Like there's not a lot of annoying skeletons that you have to keep track of and resummon all the time. So this one is just more lazy compared to the Necromancy Reaper. So the Ancestral tree is quite simple. So how does this character actually work? Like how do you keep yourself at low mana all the time? And the answer is this one. So when you use a lot of mana or abilities and have this turned on, you cannot regenerate your mana. So that means when you have this turned on and on like low mana, you cannot regenerate it. So that means you don't have to care about like casting skills all the time. So this one just keeps you at low mana. And how do you get down to low mana? There's a few tricks, and the hard trick is to get this bow right here in the primordial version. So this one makes you able to consume a percentage of your mana every time you use a skill. So if you are using arrow shot that shoots very fast, you can consume your mana insanely fast like this. And when you get to low mana like this, you just turn on this aura, flashing dots, and then you will not regenerate mana anymore. And then you can like switch over to your main weapon, and that feels really nice. Another thing is to use Sharpshooter and then pick up the last node in the tree. So this one allows you to make arrow shot consume way more mana, like 300% more mana. So this can be quite nice if you pick this. But you have to like it might be easier actually because you lose a lot of your max mana. And then when you get to this percentage of mana, it will not be increased when you take the Architect of Death. So I think the cheapest option is definitely this one. Like that's way better and might be quicker as well. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really tested that because I'm stupid. Because this one is a lot bigger grind to get to this point with the Primordial Bowler Ferocious Affinity, whatever. So yeah, that's a mistake by my side right there. But so let me see. Should I? Oh yeah, still a central tree. So another thing we pick is this one, air conditioner. Air conditioner is just a very, very nice defensive layer. That means you are going to slow enemies' attack speed down quite a lot. So, for example, melee enemies cannot really hit you. Only ranged enemies are a danger to you in the higher wrath levels. So this is very nice defensively. Another thing is this one, just a bit of raw damage, and we don't have that much raw percentage damage on this character. So getting just a tiny bit like this one is actually quite huge. Like it gives you both raw damage and the damage to elites. That's very powerful. And then when we reserve a bit of our mana, we take this one. So elemental luck essentially means that you get a bit of elemental damage equal to your mana luck, not 100%, but at 65%. And because we are using Architect of Death, we pick up this one, so you could get a bit of elemental resistance. It's quite nice to have, but it's not necessary. If you want something different, you can definitely like take this one. If you want to go Giga Dam, you could take this one. But I would say it's not necessary because it already has so much damage. So taking more defense is better in my opinion. So yeah, Burning Shadow or Elemental Luck, completely up to you. So let's look at the ability itself. So how do we scale this? We scale this by taking this one right here. This is the whole build pretty much. Right here, this little keystone right here. That's called Wandering Arrow under the skill Immortal Arrow. So this one is what we're using to clear with and just running around and making it do its job and just killing everything. Paired with this shoulder right here that grants you additional wandering arrows. This is very important, otherwise this build will be pretty terrible, I would say. Because it's a lot of damage, it's a lot more clear speed, and just overall more enjoyable. And it's also the like equipment that I've leveled up the most on all my characters because I really wanted as many wandering arrows as possible. I felt like that was the way to go. So, a downside to this character is that the wandering arrows are kind of dumb. Like sometimes they are way off screen and are kind of slow. Like you cannot scale, let's say, attack speed or projectile speed with them. Especially projectile speed, so you cannot make them move faster with projectile speed. The only thing they are affected by is your base damage, like skill damage, and minion damage. So that's like, how can I say this? It's kind of bad, but it's still good. Like I don't know how to explain this, but it's still a good build otherwise. And because it's a minion build, we can abuse this willpower 45 rank right here. So for each minion you have, you get 10% increased minion damage. And this also scales the wandering arrows because they are considered a minion apparently. So this is very, very powerful to take this. So baseline 1 wandering arrow, but if you have this shoulder on, I mean, it can get up to 9 additional, so that means 10 realistically. So 10 minions means 100% increased minion damage. As you can see right here, we have 135 minion damage, and if we take it off, we lose 90. I could get that up to 145 if we upgraded the shoulder once more. So the defenses of this character is kind of lackluster, but still pretty good compared to, let's say, the Inner Fire Knight that I made earlier. And that's simply because we can actually leech with, like, let's say, Arrow Shot, because not only do our Wandering Arrows get this amount of flat raw damage, but also our like Arrow Shot. So Arrow Shot actually deals quite a lot of damage, and if you hit like one pack of enemies with this ability, you will get instantly all your health back because we are also going Architect of Death, and that means we can get this last node in the tree that makes us able to leech from 1% of our damage. Very powerful. But I would only recommend that if you're going with Rev 10 farming. Otherwise, it would not be worthwhile, I would say. So, that's very nice to have. And then we got the resistance from Elemental Log and like force transmission. So yeah, about this Wandering Arrow again, I was almost forgetting it, but every other node that you spec into is a dead node. Like you can take all of these off and it will still do the same thing. Like none of these nodes scale Wandering Arrow, which is a huge shame. Like I really wish they made it able to scale with these nodes, but it simply doesn't. So the only thing you have to care about is like this one, rank 1. You don't even need to scale a mastery level of Immortal Arrow to get more benefits from it. It's just going to be this node right here when you get it to level 2 and you're good to go. That's kind of a shame, but that's just how it is, I guess. So mastery levels is kind of useless. You can use it on arrow shot if you want to get more reliable leech on enemies, but all in all, it's not necessary, I would say. So yeah, another thing is that Wandering Arrow cannot leech for you. Kind of a shame as well, but I guess that makes sense because it's a minion. So yeah, let's go over the legendaries. Like I feel like I'm stalling quite a lot right now. So obviously we want to scale our mana, and the way we do that is getting a lot of flat mana and percentage mana on gear, getting this helmet with mana multiplier. So that's 45 multiplicative mana, very nice. And because we are Architect of Death, we can scale evasion to get even more max mana. So if I don't have this on, I will lose quite a bit of mana. Like it's the majority of our scaling as well. It's quite insane if you ask me. So this one, very powerful. And another thing we do with that is getting this chest right here. So this chest allows us to get even more evasion with the evasion multiplier. So this is very nice to have as well. If you can't get it, like let's say if you only have like 50,000 mana, you will still deal insanely amounts of damage. So it's not a necessity at all, I would say. So it's more like quality of life, I would say. Obviously, this one, as I talked about earlier, very powerful to get. Get some good stats on there with mana, percent mana. In the top mod, get the attack speed, because the attack speed is still quite nice, especially for this legendary ring right here. And this is like when you do the lazy build, like I am right now, you really want this ring on your character, because when you doing a lazy build, you only want to use one hand and maybe just use your other hand to do whatever else stuff you want to do. I'm not sure what you want to do with your other hand, but I'm usually only playing with one hand on this character, and it feels really nice. And when I've lost, like, let's say 50% of my health, I click this ability, Ring of Life, and then I get instantly all my health back. And the cooldown scales with attack speed, so that's why we get a bit of attack speed on our shoulder, because there's pretty much nothing else that is better. Other than that, scale crit, chance, damage to elites, attack speed if there's no other good mods, movement speed as well. Same goes for the gloves with the attack speed, because there's nothing else that's better, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, just get as many good mods as possible. Get aura effect as well if you want the air conditioner to be as effective as possible. I feel like that's very good to have, just a bit of aura effect. Because having 45 at the base is kind of low. So if you can get it up to like 60 or 70%, it will feel really nice against melee enemies, I would say. Um, oh yeah. Let's see. Boots. You can pick the Goldus Fine boots. I think I have them right here. Yeah, these ones right here. If you want the most out of your character, definitely go with these boots right here, because that means you can easily pick up every like Goldus coins, whatever, on the ground in a huge radius, and you get more Goldus Find as well. So this one is very good if you have it laying around. I'm not sure why I didn't put it on my character. It's a huge mistake, I would say. My other ring is this one. So the legendary effect means that you gain 1 plus rank to your essential gifts, and essential gifts is something like this. So it gets scaled by 1 extra on the rank. So instead of giving 10% raw damage, lead damage, and mana regen, you get 11%. It's kind of bad. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm not sure if this one gets scaled. Maybe this one actually gets scaled as well with Ancestral Gift, because it says Ancestral Gift. Maybe it's actually only 60% at rank 10. I'm not really sure. Yeah, oh, it says 11 right here. 11 out of 10. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it's pretty good with this ring. You can get a bit more resistance out of it. Pretty nice. We're also using this build, just a very plain one. Get movement speed, crit chance, evasion, minion damage if you can get it somewhere on your gear. And the same goes for the cape. Movement speed is very important, I would say, because we don't get that much on this character. So scaling it on gear is very important. Oh yeah, I'm missing about the ultimatum. So the ultimatum is kind of self-explanatory. We don't have that much space on our gear to actually scale crit damage, so it's just easier to get it on ultimatum like this one. So this one just makes it so much easier to scale the character overall. So yeah, let's finally take a look at the last things on the masteries. So first of all, this one is the only one you pick when going for the build on Immortal Arrow. You don't need anything else because nothing else scales a character. I mean the minions. And Arrow Shot is just for utility and maybe Leech if you really am struggling with your life sustain. You pick this one for rebound. You take this one for pierce chance. This is very nice and feels really great in a big pack of enemies. You can even like kill enemies yourself if you want to. And then the very important note is this one. While you are delighted, you have a 25% evasion multiplier. So that means you essentially get way more mana when you are delighted after using only arrow shot, for example. That feels really great. Another thing is this one, so you can actually hit enemies more frequently with some additional arrows, because we don't get additional arrows from our shoulder that we usually get from other characters, because there's that legendary effect that grants additional arrows. So this is just what we are using on this character. And then the last note, you could take this one, but I don't recommend it, because you want to somehow spend your mana if you're not using this one right here, Ferocious Affinity. Because you want to go over to Sharpshooter and then pick this one, and then just shoot to your heart's content till you get to low mana. I think you will get up to like 1200 mana cost, so you can fairly easily spend all your mana quickly enough to get on low life, and then using Flashing Dart to get the most benefits out of it. So yeah, let's quickly go over the Architect of Death. Obviously, using the evasive magic, this is what opens up for a lot of damage potential. We use this one just to enhance our air conditioner to have a bigger area size. So as you can see, the yard radius is 3.83, and if we take it off, you do lose quite a bit of area on it. So it's just a defensive node, I would say. Very nice to have. Another thing is this one that we pair with the From Bones to Ballista. So From Bones to Ballista means that you can summon ballistas every time you kill an enemy, but it's only a 5% chance. And when you pair it with this one, you get like a passive, like let's say 3 to 30% increased maximum life. It's quite nice, and the ballistas also do damage for you. So it's kind of niche. It's kind of nice, I would say. And then we pick this one. So the ballistas have 100% pierce chance. I think that's, yeah, I mean, I don't think anything else is better. This one is definitely the best one to pick. And we pick this for resistance. And then we pick this one just for arrow shot's sake, I would say. And then obviously we get the life leech right here. I think that's about it, right? Did I miss something? Ancestral tree, nope. Attributes, dude. Oh my god. Nah, I think I covered that as well, now that I think about it. Okay, yeah. So that's about it. This character is very lazy, but that's nice. I really like that idea. And it's not my original idea, like to play this character. I actually saw a YouTube video of a guy playing this. So I just wanted to play it as well and have my take on it. I'm not sure what like Reaper he used. I don't think he used the Big Fury. I think he used like the most powerful bow, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, my next character is going to be quite of a meme. More meme than this character. I would say it's not like a normal character at all, compared to something like of the Arcane Master clone build I made from not that long ago. But yeah, my next character is definitely a meme, and it's, even though it's a meme character, it's going to deal insane amount of single target damage, but still being kind of trash. Like let's be real here. You'll see what I mean when you watch that video. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next build guide of something weird. So yeah, take care, guys. See ya.